Welcome to Forever Exiled, a Path of Exile podcast. I'm Justin, aka Tags.
And I'm Tyler, Record of Days.
Episode 127. Thanks for joining us on this wonderful evening. We haven't recorded in an evening for a long time.
It has been a while, but we're busy people. We're au populaire with our family. Oh, should I left that part out? Yeah, no, we're just popular. That's why we're busy, because we're popular.
Yeah, I've been gone for a week, so I just got back today, so we had to record in the evening instead of the daytime as we would normally do. So yeah, here we are, 127.
127. Did you have a good trip?
Thanks for joining us. I did, yeah. I'll chat about it when we get into how was our week. Quick shout out though, patrons, you guys are superstars. Thanks so much for supporting the podcast and hanging out with us in After Dark. If you're curious what Patreon gets you, it's access to After Dark, which is our podcast after the podcast, plus a card and a virtual high five every time. So thank you for supporting. You're awesome.
Well, once you get it every time, how are we, Just? Are we up to date?
Probably.
Yeah, probably. Let me check my mailbox once a month.
But did you send me more cards? I don't think so.
No, but I have one more to write you.
Oh, so you're behind. I love it. That's the best. So if you haven't gotten it yet, it's Tyler's fault. Anyway, yeah, big shout out. You guys are awesome. Thank you for supporting the podcast. And here we are. Why don't you tell me about your week first?
I actually had a crazy busy week. So you sure? Because I'm interested in yours and you're not interested in mine.
I am about to pour. I don't do this in our normal episode, but it's an evening. I have this little bottle. I won't be able to show you, but it's from a company called Knob Creek, called On the Rocks Premium Cocktails. This is an old fashioned. It's an old fashioned. Yeah, made with Kentucky straight bourbon whiskey, bitters, and natural flavor. 35% alcohol by volume, 70 proof, 200 mils. So while you pour over ice and enjoy, that's what I'm going to do. While you tell me about your week.
Right, you're not going to listen because you're going to go get some ice.
No, I prepped, bud. Look at this. Look.
Oh my goodness, look at that. But it is actually ice to ruin your drink, not at least those frozen rocks you bought. Those reusable thingy things.
Yeah. No, this is real ice. This is the real deal, Ty. The real deal.
The real way to ruin your drink.
Anyway, tell me about your week.
So, for my Bible devotions, I've been actually going through the Bible Project stuff on YouTube. They have so many cool, for the few people here that like really into the Bible, if you really want like a good historical, just like non-opinionated version of like how the certain books were written, historical and cultural context and translations right from Hebrew and Greek. So good. Anyway, Bible Project on YouTube. I actually watched every single one of their videos that they've made over the past 8 years. And I took, maybe 3 to 5 of those a day as kind of my devotions, and just finished that this week, which was really, really cool. So now I'm into their app. So anyway, that was really exciting for me. The outside of my house, like we're talking like piles, as like dirt piles, my yard. Okay. So my backyard, Justin, today and yesterday, I had maybe a 6-foot deep hole dug in the backyard, 6 feet deep.
Cool.
About 30 feet wide and about 15 feet long.
And so you're putting in the pool.
That's right.
This is the pool.
Yeah. No, This is for my perimeter drain and rock pit. But we're at the final stages. It was almost finished today. They'll be coming back in a couple days next week to finish it up. But we've had dirt piles of our backyard as high as our balcony, and it's just been absolutely crazy. But it's almost done, so that's exciting, right? Seeing positive progress now from our November floods. The leak, completely separate, the leak we had in the kitchen, right, that went all over the floor. Now all our cupboards are gutted, so we have like our counters on 2x4s, right, standing up, and then like our garbage is all nice and out. But the progress is getting done, right? The insurance or our restoration company acted right away instead of needing to wait a month. My daughter's birthday is coming up next week. Let's see. COVID in our area is, like for us in our area of the world, is done. Our province removed
restrictions.
99% of all the restrictions.
Yeah.
The only one that's left is the vaccine pass, but that's only until the beginning of April. And that doesn't really impact us because we're on that side of being vaccinated and being fine with the app.
Yep.
The little government app we use to show that we're vaccinated.
Yeah, so, no masks anymore.
Right. No masks, no restrictions for hanging out, no restrictions for proximity. The kids, when they get back from spring break, because spring break just started today for us. Yep. For the kids, they don't have to wear masks when they go back. Elementary school kids anyway. I didn't pay attention to the high school ones.
Everybody.
but like crazy emotional week for me. Like things are just going in good progress. It was one of those weeks where it's like things are going so well, even though they're still crazy stressful. Like I still have boxes piled high to the ceiling, but it's one of those weeks where it's like things just keep looking up. There's still huge important decisions to make. So that coupled with all the positive stuff that's happening, I was just like, like just and it's good. It's good. It's awesome. And my daughter's birthday for us is kind of like the anniversary for when COVID started, because we had our daughter's birthday 2 years ago. We canceled it when COVID was still just a thing. Like it wasn't like there were no restrictions. You just hear about it on the news, and it would barely touched our area. And we're like, okay, you know what? Violet's got her birthday, but let's cancel it. This seems like it's going to get serious. And so that's kind of like her birthday's next week. So it's, just all there.
Is she having friends?
We're going to do it, like the easing of restrictions for people listening to us. It just started like midnight this morning. The fact that we're not allowed masks and all this kind of stuff. So
very weird. It's a weird shift when you've had a different mentality for such a long time,
right?
To just shift out of it.
And now I'm actually allowed to go to the grocery store and cough. That's weird.
Christina was at the grocery store today, and she chose to still wear the mask, but that's just because we've been gone for a week. She feels bad about the idea of like, am I bringing something home? So she wore the mask, but she also had some old lady call her out for wearing a mask, which is ridiculous. Like if somebody still chooses to wear a mask, knock yourself out. And in wintertime, I can totally see it becoming a thing because it's amazing. We had way less colds. I hate the mask. Absolutely hate it. Cannot wait to not wear it. But the idea of shaming somebody for wearing it
seems so stupid.
Right. It's so dumb. Continue on your way, you old bag.
I had some of the moms at school today because parents didn't have to wear their mask at all, right? Because the restrictions were removed this morning. And I had parents coming up to me
anyway, though. But yeah.
Right. And it was like, oh, so that's what you look like. Like not giving me a hard time, but like that's actually what I like. You introduce yourself to like the parents of your kids' classmates and all you see are eyes. Mm-hmm. And so it's kind of interesting. And so
it's definitely a weird shift mentally to try and get back into the idea of I don't have to wear it.
We can handshake.
Yeah.
Someone's like, hey,
I don't want to handshake anymore.
My name's Joe. And I'm like, whoa, Joe. Whoa. Get that hand out of here. I had
meetings with clients where I was like, I don't know what we're supposed to like, hi. Okay. Because if I put my hand out, I don't want them to be awkward and be like,
totally.
No.
Yeah. So anyway, it's been a crazy week, but I mean, today was the first day we're basically back to normal in our part of the world. And I mean, we'll get to it, but GGG put out a thing for international hiring again if they're willing to move. But most importantly, Drive to Survive. Justin, season 4 came out today. Yeah, today.
Fun. Nice.
If I could do a whippy guitar riff, I would. But you'll have to excuse my voice right now. It's a little inconsistent.
It's always inconsistent, so no worries.
But COVID still got me, whatever. By the end of the episode, it's probably going to be a bit like this. I've already lost my voice a couple times, so give me a sec. But also, give me 1 second. I have to go yell at my kids. They're too loud. Just a moment, please. Thanks for waiting. One thing that actually might be funny, though, I don't want anybody to hear my kids laughing in the background because, they need to know better. But my wife
don't have fun.
Right, exactly. Don't have fun. It's Friday night. Get out of here. Go to bed right now.
That's right.
But my wife is about, 6 feet away from me right now, doing her absolute best to play Elden Ring without like screaming or exclaiming or being surprised. So
good.
Oh, it's hilarious. Yes.
I feel like most would rather hear her anyway.
Likely. That was one of our most favorite, fan favorite After Darks was when we had Chris and our wives on.
Yep. It was fun.
We'll have to get Ryan in
Chris
there
and
next
our wives.
time.
I love that.
Chris and our wives.
Chris and our wives.
Yeah. Tell me about you. You went traveling and stuff.
We did.
And I'm just talking about my mopey week.
We took off we actually did like 2 different trips. On Saturday, we went out to Richmond and went to a casino that's out there and some outlet malls. There's like a whole big outlet mall right under the airport in Vancouver, Richmond, Vancouver, whatever you want to call it. It's the Vancouver airport, but it's technically in Richmond. But it made me laugh while we were shopping through there. We went with some friends of ours and I was like, whose idea was it to build an outdoor outlet mall right underneath the path of airplanes? So, I mean, granted, with COVID, there's not a lot of planes flying, but still every 20 minutes, 30 minutes, just this roar of a plane flying like right over top of the mall. But yeah, we went and hung out for his birthday, had a lot of fun, did some shopping and some drinking. There's a really cool little restaurant called the Flying Beaver. It's right downtown Richmond by the airport. Man, it is so good. The appetizers and drinks were super good. I don't even know how to describe it. It was awesome. I would never go there again because it's too far out, but if I was in the area, I would definitely do it.
Really? Our favorite appetizer place when we were dating was Capone's. I don't know if you've ever been there. They have live jazz. Okay. It's right near the mini shop where you buy the cars, the mini shop. But since we got married, we haven't been back because, you know, old school, that's only for daters. But apparently it's been shut down multiple times by food services.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
That's why it's so good.
Yeah, I know, right? I know. They don't wash their hands between making stuff. They just give you the last person's meal.
Yeah, you get that real taste. Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so you had appetizers under planes.
Yeah, it was good. We came back on Sunday, and then on Monday we left with the kids and went for a week to Great Wolf Lodge down in Grand Mound, which is just a little bit south of Seattle. So we drove first trip into the States in over 2 years. Because our last trip into the States was right before they locked everything down. We went to Vegas. And so this was our first time going back into the States. And our kids had a blast. Like the kids had so much fun. It's just a giant water park and arcade and magic things. And they have wands that they walk around with. And they charge me a boatload of money for my kids. It literally is the most exhausting vacation for a parent ever. I laughed the first time we went that parents, all you see is them walking with their heads down, staring at a book. It's like the quest log for their kids' magic games. And it's over 5 floors. You spend the whole time just walking up and down stairs. It's like, oh, go to the piney forest on floor 2. So you go to floor 2. It's like, oh, you need to go to the whispering wood on floor 5. It's up and down stairs and nonstop.
It's for all ages, but most ages you have to go with. It's not safe for them to be on their own.
Well, this was Logan's first trip where he was in his glory. He's 12. We hooked his phone up to Messenger and then hooked him up to the wireless, and we just let him go. And he was like, I am an adult. I can do what he's got his phone and he's messaging us nonstop with like updates. Oh, I did this. I fought this. He's sending pictures. He's like doing stuff. He just loved it. He was in his glory. So we let him go quite a few times to just go do his thing.
Was that weird for you? Was that your first time letting him do that?
I've got a 20-year-old now, right? So we've kind of done that. It's not the first time that we've had to just, give some freedom to a kid.
You wanted to do it to your 3-year-old.
I would have. She's 4, but okay. So she's ready. She's ready. It was fun. We had a good time. It's weird traveling right now. I hate Canada, which is weird to say. Like it's 2 things. Love Canada in the sense that when I'm not a big city person, and Seattle, man, that's awesome.
Did you hear that?
I don't even know if it'll come in, but his wife just like freaked out. It was awesome. Right. I don't like big cities, and I really hate highways. And when you combine those two, like Seattle, it's the same with Los Angeles. These are mainly areas I've driven, large cities. Their highways are just stupid. Like here's 7 lanes. This is an HOV lane, but we're going to just randomly end it. And you don't know when. And there's cars everywhere. And it's not like people drive nicely in Canada, but people do not drive nicely in the US. They're just dicks. I
like that there's like the country has a population that's 10 times bigger than ours.
Canada. Yeah.
And you just like randomly throw out, people don't drive nice in the US.
All of the US. It's actually really funny because when you're driving in the US too, it's weird. When you drive in Canada, if we see someone from another province, first off, it's rare. It's relatively rare, but we also only have 11 provinces. And realistically, we're only going to see like 4 of their license plates in BC. In the States, you're like, who the hell is that? What is that? Their license plates are from, it's weird. How is there someone from New York and there's Texas and there's all these places? Like, don't you just stay home? Like, why are you driving? There's flying. You can take a plane. I just don't, it's really weird to me. Christina was trying to explain it to me. I was like, I don't care. Let me be where I want to be, and I'm just going to think how I want to think. But the driving out there was just, it's really hard for me because when I lead into a trip, I start to stress out the day before because I know I've got the drive and I don't like the drive. And then I stress out the day before I leave because I have to deal with that drive again. And I try so hard to just go like, I'm going to chill in the right lane, which again, that doesn't really exist in some of these big cities because the right lane for anyone listening, they have it there. It's the same idea. Like if you're, just chilling and not driving fast, you go in the right lane. When you have 2 or 3 lanes, you know where the right lane is. When there's 7, it's somewhere in the middle. And that's not a very comforting feeling when you've got people just like flying down the left and the right. And you're like, I don't know where to go. I have no idea.
Yeah, it's different, right? Because there's different, local rules. Here, our highway is not big. We're lucky if it's 3, maybe 4 lanes, right? As we're going along the lower mainland, whether it's to the
one
east
of them
or
is
the
HOV.
west.
And they don't like randomly disperse the HOV and just like it disappears. They also give you wicked amounts of heads up. In the States, it's like you got a quarter mile. First off, I'm going like, the frick is, how far is that? That feels short. And then I've got cars all in the right lane and they're in the technically fast lane. So they're all like, screw you, HOV driver. So I have to be like, I was laughing at Christine. I'm like, I wonder how many people are weirded out that I'm waving every time somebody lets me in, like, oh, thank you. Because nobody else did that to me.
That's right.
And because of COVID and everything, I think we saw 3 BC licenses through the whole trip. And when we were at Great Wolf, we didn't see a single BC car in the parking lot.
Yeah. And for those that are listening, like there's a lot of traffic that goes between BC and Washington. And for example, when I go down to a Mariners game, Seattle Mariners game or whatever it is, you see tons of BC license plates.
It was so weird not to see any.
Right. It's like, not really, but you don't feel like you're away from home when you go down to Washington when you're from BC. You'll see tons of people, no matter, even if it's in the middle of a weekday type of thing. So
yeah, it's just one of those things.
It feels like a ghost town, even though you're loaded with people from the States, of course, because that's their home. I was
surrounded by Americans and it was terrifying. It was terrifying.
That's right, because they're all the same. They're all crazy drivers, right, Just?
And then, but here's what I will say. So we come home today, right? So here's what happens for people listening. If you want to come to Canada, and it's the same whether you're American, Canadian, whatever you are, but so I'm Canadian, which means I'm supposed to be welcome in my country. Okay. So technically I am welcome in my country. However,
great. Is this a border story?
Leading up to coming across, you have to get tested. Now, recently they at least changed it so you could do the rapid test for COVID tests. You got to make sure you have a negative test. I've got 5 people, 4 of which have to get tested because one's 4 years old. She doesn't have to get tested.
Right.
You have to get tested, though, either the day that you come back or the day before you come back. It's not based on like a 24-hour thing. It's just a day. So either the day you come back or the day before at any point during those times. A lot of very smart American companies and pharmacies have figured out that we need them to come home. So near, certain places, their rates are 60 to 80 American dollars per person for a rapid test. And you'll get your results in 20 to 25 minutes. Well, that's 250 to 300 American dollars to get the 4 of us tested, which is insane because I can buy a test for like $10 Canadian. So we looked into it and we found a company. There's actually a number of companies now that are starting to do them online. So you registered nurse hops on with you. So this is what we did on Thursday, booked it in the morning, registered nurse hops on. We do an online call. She watches us, make sure we do everything. Everything has to be recorded. And then you leave her with the camera pointed at your result on your little test strips that are marked with your names and stuff. And she watches them for 15 minutes. And then when it's done, she disconnects or he disconnects, whatever, sorry. And then emails you the results. And that counts as proper testing for coming back into Canada. So then you wait, you get the email, you get the PDF. Thankfully, we had all negatives. But the lead up Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I'm stressing out of my mind because if you have a positive result, they're like, yeah, you're welcome, but don't come in and wait 10 days, retest, and then you can come back. Well, when you got kids, it's a real big pain in the ass to figure out how do you balance that. And so you're stressed out right up until the Thursday. Get the test on Thursday. Everybody's negative. That's great. Canada also wants you to download their app, fill out their app, which means scan and write in all the information for your passports, scan and fill in all the information for your vaccination status, fill in all the questionnaire. It literally took me an hour, like fill out all this questionnaire, all the information about the stuff, come back finally onto Canada on Friday. It's really long now to come through the border because they have all this stuff that they need to go through. The process on Monday, when we came down to the US, pull up to the window, nobody's in front of us because there's very few Canadians going down right now. That'll probably change in the next little bit, but nobody in front of us at the line. Drive up to him, give them my 5 passports, 2 of which are expired because 2 of our kids expired in 2020. And we were like, well, who knows when we're going to travel again. So we didn't get them renewed. So 2 of them are expired. He looks at them. Hey, where are you going? Oh, we're going to go to Great Wolf Lodge in Grand Mound. Oh, cool. You guys vaccinated? Yeah. Cool. Have a good time, kids. Gives us their stuff and we're gone. Literally 30 seconds. I was like, what the heck?
The best. That was going south.
That was going south. Going into the States, we started comparing as we were coming back into Canada. We're sitting there waiting forever for these cars. There were only like 4 or 5 cars in front of us. And there were people going down to the States. It's a Friday. It was like 5 or 6 cars per 1 car. 5 or 6 cars would get down into the States per 1 car that could come into Canada. Anyway, that was my story. It was great, but it was, here's the other thing. So Monday we get there and the rules at Great Wolf Lodge are you don't have to wear a mask if you're fully vaccinated. If you're not vaccinated, you have to wear a mask. And they recommend anyone to wear a mask no matter in public areas, vaccinated or not. But they don't check vaccination status. So it's just like, please be honest. And so we did. And people were asking us because there was like maybe 5 to 10% of the people that were wearing masks. And we were saying to them like, well, if I lived in the States, I probably wouldn't care so much about wearing a mask because I can just go home. But for us, if we try to go home and someone's positive, we're in a bit of trouble. And there's a very good likelihood in this whole large place full of people, somebody's got COVID. And that's not bad. I'm not scared of COVID, but I am scared of the idea that I can't get home because of a positive. So we're wearing our masks. Tuesday night, it's like 11:30. My way of getting through the evenings was to I watch Twitch. I don't watch Twitch ever, but that's what I was doing. It was either watching NCAA basketball games or Twitch, watching people play Elden Ring. It's like 11:30 at night. My 4-year-old starts to cough like the devil is coming out of her. Like it sounded awful. And I was like, what do we do? Should we pack up? Are we leaving? Like what? Oh man.
We got to get home before she tests positive. We're out of here.
Well, she doesn't have to test, but I'm like, what if she's got it? Then she gives it to one of the rest of us. Like maybe we should. I literally didn't sleep at all Tuesday night. Wednesday morning, I woke up and I was like, I don't know what we do. I'm not sure because we don't get tested till the next day. And so it wasn't very enjoyable. It's really tough with the whole testing thing to like fully enjoy it. But my kids didn't know any of that stuff going on. So they had a blast, man. They were just in the water park and playing and everything. So yeah, it was good. Overall, it was a really fun week. It was nice to get away, but I will be happy once there's no testing required to come back into Canada.
Soon.
Hopefully.
I'm glad your kids had a good time. And it sounds like your wife had a good time. That's good.
Yeah, there was lots of basketball to watch, so I had a blast watching that because I don't have cable up here, so I usually am catching up.
You and Shaq, and B-ball fans.
It's March Madness, man. This is March Madness time. So this is college basketball. This is so much fun.
You know what? Formula One couldn't start any sooner for me because it's hockey in Formula One. Otherwise, TSN is just loaded with March Madness, and that's not my thing.
It's the best. So, it's so good.
Get out of here.
Anyway, good week. And how was your PoE week?
So you didn't play Path of Exile while you were gone? What's wrong with you?
No,
hey, if GGG came out with PoE Mobile, you'd be set, man.
I probably would have played PoE Mobile because here's the other reason. Great Wolf Lodge across the whole, I think it's mostly American. I don't know. Maybe there's one in Canada. I looked it up while I was out there. They have the worst internet in the world. And I looked up the one I was at. It was Comcast. The one that's in Washington, Grand Mound, is
BK is always complaining about.
I had to turn my Twitch settings to 480p just to try and keep it so that it wouldn't buffer. And so I could actually watch people play. It was getting me so.
And you know what's crazy though? It's almost pointless watching on 480. You can't see anything.
It wasn't great. But my alternative was like, what do I go to bed?
That sounds like a horrible idea.
I'm in like this big, it's cool. They have these like themed suites you can get. So like my kids have this whole, it looks like a cabin built into the room and there's like a bunk bed and it's all done up and it's all nice, but it's still part of a suite. I'm not separated. So it's not like I'm doing anything else. I'm just like, well,
yeah, that's right. It's big glass doors. Oh, no
exactly.
Curtains. Get out of here.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, did you play PoE this week?
I did. And oh my goodness, man, I had an awesome time.
Go on.
Justin's going to edit that all out because he takes out the silences between like, if I need to go yell at my kids or something. So he takes that out. But there was about, I don't know, a good 40-second gap in there where Justin's like, how was your PoE week? Gets up.
Just walks away.
Yeah, he's just gone. He's letting me rave and rant about it.
People are always like, how come you guys don't do it live? That's why.
That's right. That's why. What you guys? We're two parents and we're busy like all these yahoos in our neighborhood. So I had a good PoE week. Do you want to do this week in PoE or do you want to do my week in PoE first?
No, tell me about your week in PoE. I skipped your notes. Sorry. I'll fix it for you. There you go. Fixed. How was your PoE week?
I must have written my week in PoE somewhere else. I'm going to be winging this. So I fought both for the first time, per se. I fought both the Searing Exarch. Is that what it's... Oh, there it is. There's my crack. The Searing Exarch. The one with like the fire, and then you have to play that, you know...
Oh, yeah, I know the one back and forth or whatever.
Yeah. Maven's like, I will shoot them for you. And then, you know, you have to find the gaps. It's like the Hydra on steroids kind of thing, right? So that one, that's not a halfway boss. That's the boss on the other side, right? Like the red side.
The one where you have to go red, where you have to go cold and fire is the halfway one. Is that the one that you're talking about?
It's the other one then. The one where you're actually avoiding the line of balls and there's a gap in each wall. Yeah. Okay. Yep. So I did that one. And
Xana's like, or no, not Xana. Maven's like, I'll help you. And she's like, here, I open this thing at the way other side.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So did that. And then I also did for the first time I guess first and a half time, because you, Josh, and I did the Eater of Worlds. That's the blue side. Right. We did that once, but we were all sharing portals. I got one thing. I died, didn't know how. And so you guys told me a bit about it, but I did it on my own today as well, or this week. And I had a great time learning it. It was a lot of fun. And so I was doing that and having a good time and playing around a lot more. Yep, did both. Both first try, which was actually kind of nice. Interesting mechanics, right? Like I'm playing a pretty beefy character, so I didn't really learn which... I was using my Righteous Fire character, which is pretty tanky. And so I didn't really learn which one out of sight of which attacks are actually the one shot. Like no matter who, you're just going to get devoured. Like, for example, the Eater of Worlds has those like blobs that slowly chase you. And if they catch you, you're just dead. So, you know, it took me a tiny bit to realize, because that was happening at the same time as the big tentacles were smashing me. So I thought it was the big tentacles that were the thing that was putting me under. And then I zoned out once and I realized it wasn't the tentacles. So, you know, I ended up not needing all 6 portals to learn the fight. And I had a good time doing it. It was pretty neat. So I got the only 2 Void Stones I think I'll ever get. I forget what the other 2 are for.
You got to defeat Maven and Uber Elder for the other 2. I won't get Maven. I might get Uber, but yeah.
No, I actually, yeah. So yeah, I got the 2 that I'll probably normally get. And I enjoyed the fights for the most part. I thought it was neat. I mean, it's hard to judge a boss battle after you've only done it the one time, right? Because you're still going. So I'm looking forward to have done it, 20 and 30 times. But that was a lot of fun to get done. Fighting with I'm in love with my Atlas passive tree, but I'm fighting it at the same time. My sessions this week for Path of Exile, I ended up just getting circumstances, like, because before you have any Void Stones, you're just running 4 T16 maps, right? One of them's dungeon. Okay, well, that sucks for so many different mechanics.
The best.
Yeah. Well, no, like whether it's ritual, whether it's abyss, whether it's something else like breach or something else that actually requires movement and space. And, it was just hard. So I got this, even though I've been praising abyss like crazy on the Atlas passive tree when it's all beefed up, it was really annoying in the sessions that I had this week, to the point where I was actually thinking of speccing out of abyss and seeing what else doesn't require, or doesn't really matter which map you're doing. I keep praising the rogues, right? The rogue exiles. And I love those because it really doesn't matter how the map, well, not how the map rolls, but what kind of map base you're doing.
Sure.
Right. And so this week I was also kind of brainstorming about, okay, well, what other kind of mechanics do I like? That I like it when stuff is guaranteed to show. It's not a chance to show. Like Delirium, for example, you can invest in it fully, but it's still just a chance to show, as opposed to the Harbinger, where you're at least guaranteed one, right? So I was thinking about, okay, well, which ones are guaranteed mechanics to show up, and which ones are also not highly dependent on a decent map base as well. So I was going through and having a good time. And because at the beginning, remember, I don't have any Void Stones. I'm only running the 4 T16 maps, and I want to be running the 16s. And because of how the map drop system works with the new Atlas, you could be doing a T16, but because of what's touching it and close by, you might be getting yellow maps that are dropping most of the time. So I really wanted my mechanics to work with those 4 original T16 maps. Obviously now within one session, just how it goes with progress, you end up getting 2 Void Stones. So all of a sudden you have maybe 20 T16 opportunities. Yep. So that can change along with the favorite system. I do have a question for you though.
Yeah.
And Keurig missions, are they impacted by your Atlas tree? I forget if they were going to.
I struggle for it, finding it out, because I don't find this stuff like Abyss and Harbinger and that kind of stuff affects it, but it does seem to affect boss stuff. So it confuses me because I can't quite. I've had boss drops affected by my Atlas for a Keurig mission, but I've never seen the stuff like when I was playing Rituals. Rituals never ever were showing up in the Keurig ones. So I don't know. I'm not really sure.
Because I would love to invest in all the Keurig and map stuff. It's just, free maps. But I would like to do that because it's a guaranteed map thing that I could do if, the rest of my investment actually impacted.
I felt like it was good leading up to clearing your Atlas, but then it would kind of fell off. It fell off a bit for me after that.
So I don't know. I got to do a little bit more research. Got to double check what all the notables on the Atlas passive tree say, because I do like the guaranteed stuff as opposed to chance.
If your Atlas affected Keurig's missions, I would have probably stayed more with Keurig's missions. But because they weren't, it was like, well, what is the point of this cool tree that I've built, with a part of it being focusing on Keurig giving me more missions when
you'd be hopping in and out of your Atlas tree. Right?
Yeah, it kind of sucked to all of a sudden do an old school boring map without all my fun stuff that I want.
Right. But we're at 0.2 now, and they've been a lot of sub patches, and so I don't remember if
I haven't seen anything.
I don't remember if if it's included now or not, if it was part of the plan and it hasn't been implemented yet. So anyway, so that was kind of my PoE week. I had a great time. I did mostly the Righteous Fire character. There were a couple times where I rolled. I got absolutely spanked again by Torment in a boss arena. Right, so I'll have rogue exiles guaranteed to be tormented for the most part, and they're going to be bodyguarding the boss, right? But then the boss gets duplicated, because I think that's something on my Atlas passive tree. Yeah, so I have that. Then the boss rolls that I get 2 bosses. But then, of course, I have my map mods. But then I get the 5 tormented spirits just hanging out in the boss arena until I show up. And then all of a sudden, I have 2 rogues, 2 bosses, a red beast, and I had 5 torments there, but the 2 rogues were already guaranteed to be tormented. It's a problem. Well, see, the beginning's always crazy because there's the 5 there.
Right.
But once you kill 1, it's not as bad. Then, you're down to 3 left, and then you're down to 2 left. Anyway, I've still only killed a fully tormented boss once. This week was not that week. That was last week. But it's good. Like, so I'll be struggling and, I'll roll something for my Righteous Fire character. And so I'll be, okay, yeah, sure, fine. Physical Reflect is fine because I'm doing all elemental damage. This is great. I'm using Incinerate, so I'm constantly hitting. So I got to, be careful of some Reflect. Going through, roll the map for my Righteous Fire character, go through, oh my goodness, my character, whatever it is those tormented spirits are doing on these characters, my Righteous Fire character can't do it. Because every now and then there'll be that one rare that is in a massive group of stuff, but you didn't realize it had elemental reflection. You're like, crap. Okay, so switch to my elemental or my bone zombie build. My it's just physical damage and zombies. And I'm like, okay, well, yeah, that one has elemental reflect on it, that one rare. So I'll bring this one in, clean it up, and it'll be good. But then I remember I rolled physical reflect on the actual map, and I'm like, crap. So, good times. None of those are complaints. That's just part of the fun of the PoE experience. And I'm the kind of player where I am fine getting absolutely shellacked. And I did a couple times. Yeah, this one was on console. I've leveled up my Guardian that didn't work. I've leveled up my Witch on PC to be able to play with you and Josh whenever, if we're going to play again before.
He's on all the time.
Private league. Yeah, it's awesome. Oh, man, that was scary.
Yeah.
Oh.
We had a friend who was an accident in his work, but he wasn't involved. So anyway.
Right. But the message we got, and it was very sweet of him to say, we didn't hear about this newsworthy message that eventually was on the news. We didn't hear about this incident yet, but all of a sudden we get a message that says, I'm fine. I'm okay. Just FYI.
Yeah.
And like that was part of our week of crazy. Well, right. So then all of a sudden, then you start looking, checking out tweets or whatever from the different, places and such and this and that. Gosh, it's hard to not be specific. And then you see this big incident and you're like, oh my goodness. And then, it's a big deal because you realize that could have been a message from someone else saying things aren't okay. about that
Well,
person.
like when his mom called me when this same idiot was in a motorcycle accident and was in the hospital. He was. Yes, he is. Riding a motorcycle is so dumb. I think it's insanely dangerous. Anyway, he's fine.
He is, but like it's just one of those things where when they say I'm okay, you immediately start being so
should
thankful.
You not be?
Well, but no, like your mind goes to a place where it's like, man, that could have been a message from their mom or a friend or, wife saying they're not okay or didn't make it.
Well, but it could be that when he was in his accident.
It could be that random, that instance. So, yeah, glad you're okay.
Hungry friends.
I know, right? No, be thankful. Be thankful. You never know. You never know.
Yeah, you don't. That's right.
Anyway,
life is short.
It is.
Well, that's good. I'm glad you played. I didn't play it all this week. I honestly, I really tried to check out as much as I could from everything this week. So I caught up on everything today. I didn't pay much attention to.
Good though. That's your own vacation.
News.
Get out of here.
I really needed to. I needed to. I got a call from my work, and they were in trouble because something had to be done by Friday. I was like, you guys should have told me about this last week. Good luck. And
awesome.
I hung up.
Good for you. Did you really?
Yeah, I 100% did.
Awesome.
Christina was so happy about it. I was like, you guys were warned ahead of time. It would be different if an emergency came up with my work. I would take care of that. But
this has been an emergency.
When it's something you could have, and that's not my fault. That's your fault. Now be a grown up and figure it out.
But
so let's get. Yeah. Oh, a but's my favorite because that's the best time to hang up. As soon as the butts start coming out, I was like, all right, good luck.
See you later.
See you Monday.
That's right. Looking forward to that. That's awesome.
You can't destroy the company, so it's fine. Good luck. Fix it when I come back.
Well, I want to pick your brain about Atlas passive stuff. So let's make this week in PoE super fast.
All right. What I mean, to be honest, there wasn't a ton this week. There was. So we've got. What do you got?
Console is now up to date and equal with PC. They're in 0.2. So the majority of the masses can now celebrate.
I'm just kidding. I mean, that's right.
But Badger's got his cool private league thing that I actually like. I've never been a part, and I probably won't because I don't have the time to actually be part of a team event and be valuable.
I love that they do it. I've never understood it.
Right.
Never.
I love the intention in per se of, I know you love the game, but you're playing something you're not comfortable with and you're going to go have fun with it. Like, I love that you're assigned a class. I forget if it's a class or an ascendancy, but you're assigned something, no matter your opinion. Okay, now you're a team, so don't bail on them.
It's a great idea, and people love it. I think it's super fun. I think it gets people out of their comfort zone. I just don't get it. That's all.
Yeah, it's okay. You're pretty dumb. Nobody expects you to understand anything.
It's true. Yep.
Talent competition highlights. It's always awesome to pretend to hate people.
This is a weird one, too, because it's so generic. Well, because it's like, hey, anything.
Isn't that what they're always are?
Well, but like a lot of times it's an art competition. You know what I mean? This is like anything. This is so just whatever you can think of.
Let's submit our voices. Hey,
I just think that's cool. I like it but we've talked about this. I wouldn't want to be the person who has to decide because it's so subjective. If you don't like drawings, you may not pick it. Anyway. Well, they got a new div card.
We should sing.
It's a weird one.
No, I like this one because it was somebody that bought a div card, but I don't know. Right. I don't know the story, but it seems like they just shrugged their shoulders, like, I don't know. I just wanted to spend the money. Let the community choose.
They wanted to let the community,
And so the community last time around chose Watchstones, but those aren't a thing anymore. So now they're redoing it. But I'm glad they thought about it. It's not just sitting there like dust and standard only type of thing, or I don't know how it would work. So that was cool. And then they had Twitch Rivals, which, they came back and did it, and that was nice. We got some free MTX from it, so thank you very much, GGG. It was a short window. My wife got home from work, and she only got one out of the two. They cut it off real quick. It was like 4 hours or something,
Oh, interesting.
So she didn't get the wings.
I didn't get them.
Sucker.
I didn't get them either.
What a loser for working, right? You know what I'm saying? Let's see. Winter Dragon. That's cool.
Yeah, the armor looks cool. I like the shoulders.
I want an apparition, but I can't.
Oh, I didn't look at the apparition. The shoulders were cool.
Yeah.
The shoulder looked really cool.
And then got a Thunder Portal.
Yeah, not a fan of that one.
Oh, and it's Portal. Portal's a portal. Everything's better than their Twitch purple
portals.
One.
You already know I love portals. Yeah. That portal to me is just a very...
Is it better than the Twitch portal, the purple one that keeps showing up? Random my butt. That thing's got a higher dice roll than the rest.
If I got it for free, sure.
Thunder.
I would take it over the blue portal. The basic blue portal.
GGG gave you some more concept art for our YouTube.
I haven't been using them, but this is for the next.
We have
Incinerator.
The art that they did that we could use. Yeah.
I've been just using the pass or the all the info they give for each league release.
And New Zealand borders are opening up, and so it seemed like they had a little bit more woohoo in their thing and said, hey,
Do you know what this reminded me of?
Move here to work for us now. But look, did you see how much stuff there was?
There was sort of.
Sure.
They're basically saying, like, can you explain to us? And it's good on their part because they do have to legally, they have to show why you can do the job that someone else in New Zealand can't do. This reminds me of what happened. I'm going to speak for ourselves here, but I know it happened very broadly. And it makes me laugh. I doubt GGG's in the same spot, but they're hiring for a lot of spots. And what it reminded me of is a lot of people didn't want to come back to work after COVID. And we had the same problem. We're like, you know what? We're so used to the CERB. So if you want to send me a check, I'll continue to work maybe from home, but otherwise, it's not for me. It's just not for me. This is what when I read it, I was like, there were a lot of people that checked out. I doubt that that's the case. I'm sure that they need to fill a lot of spots, but this made me laugh because I was like, I know what it was like up here in Canada. In Canada,
Yeah.
We had a lot of people that just checked out and were like, you know what? I deserve at least twice the hourly rate, and I would like to choose my hours, and I want 4 months of vacation while working from my home in the time that I choose.
That's right. Now, for people that are like where we were, there was a picky system, but for the most part, if you were financially impacted by COVID, the government, went deep in their pockets and they gave people a check so they could sustain.
It wasn't not anything. It was if you were a human being, if you were a Canadian human and you didn't want to work, they would give you money.
Now they're going back and you're
they cut that off, and people were like,
well,
"But our that's right. Tax is kicking the crap out of some of them."
Well,
which
right,
I love.
And they're actually asking for the money back. Like they just gave it to anyone who asked for it, but they gave out like this is for these people, but anyone who asked for it can get it. And now they're going back and assessing everybody's situation slowly.
Yeah,
if you didn't need it, you got to pay it back big time with interest. So there's that thing going on right now.
It just made me laugh because they're hiring for so many spots. I was like, it just reminded me of what we dealt with as things came out a little bit of trying to get back into normal work, where people are just like, they're so used to the way that they worked for the last 2 years, which is tough. It's tough for a company because they are hiring for a lot of positions.
Yeah, big ones, good ones. I looked at all the prerequisites and I'm like, no.
Where do I fit?
The only prerequisite for any job description is Path of Exile. And I don't know if there's anybody that would appreciate my knowledge or opinions of the game. So like that's all I do. I'm like, okay, so I actually fit in 6 different categories, but I only know 1 out of 20 things out of all of that. So if you guys just want someone, like I was looking for the one job description where it was like the team high fiver, where I just like walk around and encourage people. Hey, filter person, keep up the good work.
I just, the thing that when they say that these are for full-time positions at our office in Auckland, that's just what made me go like, I know what's happening. Some people didn't want to come back.
I don't know what every other country did.
I hope not, but I just know that that's what we dealt with in our business. And I know a lot of other business owners that had the same issue where people were just like unbelievably and outrageously expectant of things to be different. And that's not how real life works. So anyway,
for me, it's exciting though, because like this was a very different one than they posted a week or 2 ago, right? Because the last one was still based on like you had to be local because that's just the state they were in. But now like it's not just certain departments. It's it is, I guess, but it seems like a lot of very varying departments when you're ready to go gung ho again. We're not part of like, we don't know how it's going, but it just seems like things are really ramping up again. They're ready to get back to the full swing of things. It's exciting when the company that you're excited for, not just their current content, but their new content coming out, when they really get back into it, they're throwing money at the development of it. So I'm excited. I mean, that basically means that you need to go to Great Wolf Lodge again because in 2 weeks, Path of Exile Mobile is getting launched. That's what I think this means.
I would imagine they've been trying to fill these roles for a while, which is why they're able to open them to outside New Zealand and Australia, because they can at least prove now to the government that we've been trying. We can't fill them.
2 years, so let us bring government. In. 2 years, we couldn't find someone for the spot.
Yep. I think it's cool. Yeah. And good luck to anybody who's applying for them. That's awesome.
It is.
Seems like a fun place to work.
Man, that would be awesome. It actually seems very, very cool. Employee first. Seems like it's good. I don't know. Everybody that we talk to seems to love it there. Everybody that we talk to wants to work there. So,
I mean, Chris is holding a gun off screen
every time. That's right.
But
To his,
it does seem cool.
Yeah, that's
Otherwise,
right.
yeah, it does seem cool.
When
otherwise.
Ziggy asked him a question in the live interview, he's like, okay, which one of you suckers? Come on. Pointing the gun back and
there's
forth.
a gun. There's a gun under the table.
That's right.
There's a gun.
Speak up fast. We're live. So Atlas passive tree. I'm sorry to go back to this, but
Go for it.
Maybe you've been away from the game for a little bit, right? Because Elden Ring came out. We're both in love with that game, of course, but we're both in love with PoE. So you've had your bit of a break. Now that you've kind of like cut yourself, you're not like feeling the emotion of the current play session that you've had. Can you think of some mechanics in the Atlas passive tree that would kind of fit my, all right, well, it's not just going to work well in Dunes, right? Because that was the map that you really like because it's nice and open. It would fit in dungeons. It would fit in those dumb maze outside ones. You know what I mean? Where Justice is the boss. You know, like, can you think of any that aren't necessarily like, as I was explaining, Abyss, my poor wife.
She's just like struggling.
Oh my goodness. And I was at that boss. Oh man. Oh, she's doing so much better than I was too. I got massacred by that semi-boss.
I don't think that takes much. I mean, she is doing well, but
you have
better
her
than
you.
You
have
is better than you is you know.
Oh, she's
that's a low bar.
Wielding now. She put on a morning star. Oh wow. All right, so
for like I mean anything that has like the honestly, Abyss does work. It's just annoying.
Well, but when it opens up, it can trap. Like you can't always go around the circle because it's close against something.
I mean, Harbinger.
That's the only thing.
All right. Harbinger's all right because it just spawns in the spot.
Right.
But it's annoying if they're in small spaces.
The thing that's annoying for me in Harbinger, and I'm happy to exclude this notable, is, and I really like the boss aspect, but the boss Harbinger, when it rolls and does that crazy like ball lightning style attack.
Yeah, I feel like that's new too because it's rough this league. I was like, what the frick is this damage?
Right, and it's not just in its own map; it's in your map with the map mods. And so, based on like, let's say you're doing dungeon again, and then that boss Harbinger shows up. If there's nowhere to go, that can be a really hard hitting one, especially in a league where it's like, well, for me anyway, with my Guardian, I was pissed because my Spectres were always dying to that thing. So anyway,
I mean, any of the boss based ones will work. Right, any of the stuff that's based off boss drops, you can get synthesis maps to drop. You can get conqueror maps to drop. Any of that kind of stuff is specific to the boss. Map boss drop. So that kind of stuff would work.
What about Syndicate? You spec'd into Syndicate, and did you do it for?
Oh no, not Syndicate. Synthesis.
Right. Sorry, my mistake. That was what I was thinking of. You spec'd into Synthesis. Was that because you were hoping for certain bases with certain high tier mods that wouldn't be rerolled? No. What was it? It was
just for more maps to run. So synthesized maps have increased XP and increased drops. So they're it's something fun to run.
So it had nothing to do with the actual synthesis bit.
No, I'm not. The whole idea of like synthesized items is not for me. I get it. It's really good for some people. It's not for me.
Okay.
I can't focus well enough to figure out like, what can I do with this item? That's not for me.
And you like Ritual because you get to choose the items?
I'm not in Ritual anymore, but I loved Ritual just because it was simple. It was run these 4 rituals, get tons of mobs, fight lots of stuff, and you can get some good stuff out of it. I'm not in it anymore, but Ritual is not a great solution to something like Dungeon.
Yeah, definitely not. Okay. What else? I actually really like rogues. I know a lot of people don't, but when it's really invested in, especially, and when you couple it with Torment, that to me, like there's a lot of quality increases to possessed monsters and people that have a Torment in them, and then rogues. Like
I just never found the drops good enough for stuff like Torment and rogues.
I'm doing it fun. I'm doing fun per hour. I think the only thing I would do is drop specific is I think Harvest. I think I am going to go back into Harvest because it basically gives me the shards that I would normally get by spending all my time doing currency recipes, like the Chaos, Regal, or even Exalted shard recipes. I'm saving myself so much time by just doing Harbinger because I'll get an Exalted shard every couple maps, and that's way better than getting one Exalted shard for actually coming up with a whole set piece of Hunter stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, and I mean, even if I just pick up a whole bunch of Chaos shards, which are relatively common within Harbinger, it means that I'm getting that extra little Chaos stuff. To me, Harbinger is a great reason to spec, just so that I can ignore more recipes, tedious recipes. But anyway, sorry, I interrupted you answering my own question.
No, I think the ones you have are relatively fine for what you're doing. For the only thing that makes it better, no matter what you're doing, is maybe stuff related to the boss. Because then it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter the layout of the thing as long as you can get to the boss.
Yeah. And with because I'm still relatively new to the new bosses, right? The Searing Exarch and the Eater of Worlds. I just got those as items, but I just put them in. I also wanted to complete them, so I just kept them as is. There wasn't any requirements for doing them rare or corrupted. But are those editable maps? Like, are those technically maps that you can roll? Because I know you just go right into the boss arena, but I just saw them as an item and I put them in. Do you know if you can alch that?
I don't know.
Because I
feel like you can.
Because I looked at both of their circles, their clusters that are relatively large, and it's all about just a chance to drop upon beating the boss. And so I was curious, is that chance to drop based on, your Atlas travel nodes? I didn't look to see if it was an interactable map item or not.
I'm not sure. That part I don't remember, and I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Sure.
And get yelled at.
Yeah, well, you deserve it.
A yes or no, roughly.
Okay.
50-50,
Oh, okay. All right. I agree. 60% of the time, every time, right?
Every time. That's a safe answer.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yep.
What's that from? That's Anchorman,
Sex
isn't
Panther.
it?
Sex Panther.
Works 60% of the time, every time.
I don't remember what the line is that Will Ferrell says, but it's really funny right after that, because he says something like, I don't think that makes sense. Something to that effect. But
is that Paul Rudd?
Yeah,
in that
Paul
character?
Rudd, yeah.
Oh, what a funny guy.
My wife and I were actually just talking about him today, because there was some comment or post that she saw about him, comparing him to like now and 20 years ago, and he looks the same. The guy just, I don't know what he does, but he just doesn't age.
That's not right. That's not right.
It's not really fair. Not really fair. All right, what else we got? What are you laughing at? What do we got?
Nothing. Was that it for your suggestions? I've already done it.
That's it. I got it. Okay. Yeah, pick the stuff that you like. In the end, pick the stuff you like. We had this talk in Discord, and everybody agreed.
We did.
Pick the stuff you
that
like.
wasn't my
there
question. It was more area.
There is no greatest,
region
awesome
specific.
Boss stuff is stuff that's regardless. You don't have to care about the layout.
Thank you for
boss stuff.
Thank you. All right.
I got you.
All right. Yes, you do. Yes, you do. We should pass on this subject, move it to next week, but pick our private league start date now.
After dark, we're doing it.
Picking the date.
So if you're a Patreon,
we need to announce
you'll hear all the details. Yep.
It's got to be we're either starting next Friday, like in 7 days, 8 days, or in 14 days. And we should
25th.
Okay. There it is, people. You've heard it.
25th is going to be the start of our private league. If you're looking for details to find out what happens and what it will be, that's after dark. But otherwise, our private league is going to start on the 25th, decided right now.
We'll post it on Discord. You don't actually have to be on
Discord, just like...
Actually, no. Let's not post it. You have to be a patron to find out any information.
You're only invited if you're Patreon. Patreon is just where we talk. Our After Dark is usually where we just talk crap and try and figure out how we're going to set up the private league, but you'll find that on Discord. Anyway, if you want to join our private league, this league, it's the same as always. Information's on our Discord. It might not be there yet when you're listening to this, but that's where you'll find it under announcements. If you're not on our Discord, get on there and come play the private league with us, because it's going to be, it's going to be awesome 60% of the time, 100% of the time.
Yeah, right? There is a 100% chance that the normal amount of time that you would love it is going to be increased by 60%. Sometimes
your fun per hour is 16 billion times 2.
Wow.
So, this old fashioned is starting to turn this into After Dark a little bit.
I was wondering, this is starting to get a little bit awkward.
I'm only half done.
No, wow. But still, hang on.
I've been nursing it. Yeah. What do we got?
You saw by the intro. No, we're good. We're starting After Dark.
There's more stuff.
No,
goddamn.
I know. No, I pushed it to 128 because we got to get After Dark in before you fall asleep. Justin traveled all day, people. We're cutting this short. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for visiting.
We love your faces.
We do.
But what else you got, Ty?
No, that's it.
Is there something else?
I got to go to the bathroom.
This is actually the end. That's the best. I thought there was a whole nother topic. All right. Well, listen, everybody. Thanks for joining us for episode 127 of Forever Exiled. This is a Path of Exile podcast. I am Justin, aka Tags.
Oh, look, your computer turned on.
What?
Yeah,
do you hear that noise?
Yeah, I do.
It's because some idiot in this house decided they're going to have a shower right now. And that, I don't know why it does that. It's so weird. And my whole house makes noise to let you know that, hey, hot water's running. I feel like it's supposed to be like me, like, who's doing that? I don't know why it happens. Anyway, I'm Justin, AK Tags.
Tyler, Wrecker of Days. Hey, remember when...
Do that again. What's going on? Knock it off. That was fake. You faker. I'm keeping that cough in. Go on.
And I'm Tyler, Wrecker of Days. This is me now with my voice gone, trying to get it normal.
The worst ever.
I know.
The worst. Hey, have you seen the new Batman?
No,
I heard it's amazing. I really want to see it.
Yeah, of course it's good.
I heard it's incredible.
They keep restarting the franchise, so the first one's always going to be a good intro. It's the third one that always sucks.
I can't wait till the 8th. That's what I'm waiting for. The 8th one, because those ones are always the best. Think of any movie that's gone to 8. Oh, amazing.
Hey, I love the Alien movies, man. That is an amazing series. Did they have 8?
They didn't have 8.
If you include Alien versus Predator, they had many. Oh, and if you add Arnold Schwarzenegger to AVP, and then you get Aliens, and then you get the Prometheus first 2. Oh my goodness, Justin, if you watch... Did you like the Prometheus one? Okay,
normally our outro doesn't last longer than the actual song Camille wrote, so I don't even know where I'm going to start his song, but thanks for joining us. This has been fantastic. This is Forever Exiled, the Path of Exile podcast. Patrons, we're going to catch you guys in After Dark. This is going to be a blast. Everybody else, we're seeing episode 128 next week, a week away from our private league launch, which we decided just moments ago. Hopefully your week has been fantastic. We love your faces. We'll see you all later. Bye.
That is definitely an alcohol-induced goodbye. Bye.
Just wait till After Dark.
Goodbye, everybody. Thank you so much. I got to go to the bathroom. Let's go.